What is up, guys? Welcome back to another awesome episode of Tractors and Stuff. Today, as you just saw, I got a big problem going on with the WR Long third function kit. Something kind of goofy happened, and I'm going to talk about it in just a second. But first, a couple of quick update and announcements. One thing, we had a great winter. There wasn't a lot of snow that fell, but it was really cold, and I did absolutely nothing on the property or anything. So that's why I haven't been seeing a lot of content. I actually haven't really done much in the shop, but behind the camera here. I got a lot of projects lined up that I'm really excited to get working on. The other big thing is another reason why I haven't been making much content is we welcomed the birth of our second son. He arrived here about 3 weeks ago, so it kind of delayed some other projects. But when I got ready to start going, a couple of things happened with the tractor, which I'll talk about. First off, the glass broke on the rear window. I would unlatch the glass. It started riding up on the gas struts, and the whole thing exploded and shattered into a gazillion pieces. Scared the crap out of me for sure, but now it's just a windowless back cab. I have the part on order, the replacement glass, and it should be here within 8 to 10 weeks, roughly. It's been back ordered like everything else in our country. And it costs right about $500 for that pane of glass. A lot of people have asked me, did you contact a custom glass shop in town that can probably laser cut your glass for you or something like that and get it done faster and cheaper and that sort of thing? The answer to the question is yes, I did. And I talked to one glass shop in town, and they said it would be about 3 times more expensive, but I'd get it back in time, almost right away kind of a thing, if they had the right kind of glass. And I would have to provide them the technical drawings for where all the holes and everything go in the glass. So I opted just to order it through New Holland, and New Holland was about $100 cheaper than going through LS. The other thing that happened is what we are working on today. I hooked up to the grapple on the front of the tractor here and found that it worked in one direction, it would open, but it won't close. And I did some Googling and reached out to WR Long and found out that the valve could be stuck. So they recommend taking like a screwdriver or something and jamming into the brass little push rods on either side of the valve, and that will make it work and get it kind of unstuck, especially if they've been sitting all winter, which mine has. So I did that, and I can manually open and close the grapple just fine. Slow, but it would work. What became of that was it didn't get unstuck. I'd still work that switch, and it would open but not close. Where we at now is done. I've tore the whole valve assembly apart. I cleaned everything, make sure it wasn't all stuck or anything like that. And I've tested the coils. These are the coils. They're electromagnetic coils that go over the valves that just open and close the valves when you push the switch. And then I tested the circuit board that controls these and found that one side is actually bad. So I'll show you that here right now. So what I have here is the old circuit board, and I have it grounded and I have it powered. The power comes into the circuit board and comes out to these wires here, which is the switch. This is where the switch comes in. So this one's hot, and this one is open, and this one is closed, or vice versa. I don't remember which is which. So we can put our meter on, and we can check certain things on the circuit board to see if they get power. So the electromagnetics, and these little coils, they slide into these little slots right here, and they make a connection. So when you flip the switch, it energizes or de-energizes those coils. And we can monitor that with putting our leads here, okay? So now we can simulate pushing the switch. We'll just take it to the green one, or to the blue one rather. And this is simulating us pushing the switch with our thumb on the joystick. Set that aside. Now we can measure one of these sides should have something on the meter, and the other side should not. Okay, so now switch sides, we'll undo the blue one and we'll hook it to the green one. Now the other side should have power, and it doesn't. That tells me that this side here is bad. So I reached out to WR Long after discovering that this circuit board here is broken. Something wrong with one of these control modules. Relays, I believe, is what they actually are. I'm not a computer nerd and don't know much about electronics, but this is a pretty simple board, and my testing is very scientific, so you know it's got to be accurate. I can't find anything else wrong with it, and this is the only thing that makes sense when I put it to the meter. So I reached out to WR Long. They informed me on the phone that they do not have a warranty on their electrical components, and the valve and everything is only a 90-day warranty. I purchased this less than a year ago. Really haven't used it a lot since, so I'm kind of disappointed in it, in them. I'm not too happy with their quality. And as far as I'm concerned, this is trash. And I reached out to a local dealership that is a dealer for WR Long as well. I was able to get a new one. Of course, I had to pay for fast shipping because my tractor is actually not able to move since I pulled this out. I don't have any plugs for the hydraulic lines. If I was to fire up the tractor right now, there would be hydraulic fluid everywhere. So I need to get this back reinstalled, and I had to buy a new one. So with the shipping, it came out to $150 for this new control board. So now I just need to get it all installed, clean back up, put it back together again. I also got something new that we're gonna be adding on to this project, and I'm super excited for it. I've been waiting a long time to actually do it, and so now is a great time to do it since I got this all torn apart and everything, and we'll get to that as soon as we can. For now, let's get this all back reinstalled, and that way I can at least move the tractor if I can't do anything else. So, all right, let's get to work. So as you can see here, I've actually torn this all apart already because I had to remove that switch and everything. And so this is my big mess. I got some bags on the hydraulic lines to try and keep things clean as long as possible. This tractor's been sitting here now for a few days waiting on that control board.
A few moments later.
So I'm working on, you can see all this glass and stuff in here from when that window shattered. There's more of it over there. It went everywhere, guys. I'm gonna be cleaning this glass out for a while. So I moved the mat up out of the way to try and get more space in here. Last time I ran the cabling through this little boot right here. And this time I think I'm gonna try and run it through one of these cables, little holes right here. Try and get it nice and close so you can see that. Someone did mention that there is a grommet, a knockout on this tractor for running controls up in here, but the only one I could find, let's see if I can find it really quick, is back here on the back. Let's see, where's that? Is this guy right here. That's a knockout, and that's really the only one that I could find. So I don't know where the other one might be, and it'd be nice if there was a place for one. I can certainly drill a hole and get some grommets, but I don't want to wait that long. This has been down long enough. So I'm just going to try and run that wire through this kind of space in this grommet here, and then up through here, and then up to our joystick. So first things first though, let's get this thing remounted and installed. Okay, so for the first thing I'm going to do, we're not going to worry about the electrical right now. We just need to get it hooked up in here. So it goes like this in there. First thing I think we need to do is just get the hydraulic lines hooked up first to this side, and because I got the toolbox has got to be mounted on here first, and having this kind of floating like this makes it a little bit easier to get these hydraulic lines on there. So that's what I'm gonna do first. Okay, so now we just gotta run that wire up through there. That is the switch, so that's the one that we need. So let's run it up to the joystick. And I think I just did it. Something like that. That's easy. Let's go to the top side. Okay, so it looks like I got that wire coming right up through the spot I wanted, right next to the control cables for here. So now I just gotta run it up this plastic piece here to up to here. The way I think I had to do that last time was with a fish tape, because this isn't very stiff to try and push up in there So, and I don't want to take this cover off. The cover's really big in there. So I'm gonna go grab the fish tape and we'll just fish it down through here, connect to it with some electrical tape or something and pull it up and it'll be good. Well, I'm so organized that I can't actually find my electrical tape right now, but I grabbed my fish and I grabbed a zip tie. And so we will just use that. We'll just fish this. Fish this tape on down there. And just like that, we're out. So now I got the wire coming up through here, up to this point. We'll just cut the zip tie off. The last little bit of this wire here is probably gonna be all ruined. That's okay, we got plenty of slack, and this time I'm gonna leave plenty of slack because last time I did this, I didn't. And it was getting kind of short. So there that is. That's more than enough slack right there. I'm reaching up to the top of the cab, I still got a foot hanging off. So, all right. Back in November of 2021, a person reached out to me on Tractor by Net, asked me if I wanted an early Christmas present, and had left his phone number. Now, this person I've communicated with quite extensively on TBN about our tractors, and he's got the newer model, the MT3 357, 375, something like that, one of those. And he tried convincing me and came this close to convincing me to go trade my tractor in and getting a new one. So anyway, he asked if he could send me this, and we kind of chatted about it a little bit. And I said, absolutely, that'd be great. You know, I'm very, very appreciative, and thank you again. So I put this on the workbench, waiting for the day that I can actually get out here and install this. So he noticed that I wasn't too happy with the WR Long joystick handle. I almost cut my hand there. Got some good packing tape on here. Of course, I put duct tape on there to block the addresses. So this showed up in the mail a few days after we chatted. That's the first time, obviously, I've opened it. I got some packing material here. And he's got it wrapped up in bubble wrap. I'm not seeing anything else in here. It's a new knob. It's got the buttons on the front, and it's got the little diagram on there for your bucket controls, and it's got these buttons for open and close instead of a switch on the side. So we are also chatting on the forum a little while later about moving that handle back a little bit. So I went online and I ordered this thing, and I'll have a link for this one below. So this is just a little bent piece of metal that will replace this. So it'll look like that. And that'll bring that handle back closer to me when I'm working it back here. So thank you again so much for this. And I'm gonna get this installed right now. So, and I think, yeah, the wires come out the side here, but we're not gonna use this. We're gonna take this off. The wires will actually run down this hollow tube on this one here, and they will drop down. We just have to make a good connection to the wire we just pulled up. So let's get this installed, and then we'll get this installed and wired in. In order to do that, we need to take this nut loose, and this whole thing's gonna come off. So let me grab a wrench. Boy, that's still really tight. There can't be very many threads left holding on here. There we go. We'll take our new one here, and it should screw right in. And we'll kind of have it set in something like that. We'll get it figured out exactly where it needs to go. But I just realized something. This is a hollow tube, but there's this, it's capped off here. So those wires got to come out of here somehow. And I'm not sure exactly how to make that happen yet. We're pretty resourceful. We'll figure it out. So I'm thinking that the wires, and that maybe we need to cut a notch. As you can see with this guy here, we got a notch right here for the wires to come out. So I'm thinking that maybe we need to cut a notch in here someplace for the wires to come out of this one. That only makes sense to me. So there's not a bottom on here for those to come out. Maybe we take this off and drill a hole in the bottom of this, but then where's the wires gonna go? Maybe down through this hole here, perhaps. So as you can see, I took and ground this down pretty good. I also was able to deburr it. It's all nice and smooth now. So the wire can now pass through there just fine. So what we'll do is it'll come in like this, and the wire will just come off the front here and go down there. It'll be hidden by the boot. So for now, let's just get this installed. I'm starting to lose the light. It's starting to get pretty late in the day. The part came in for the third function kit at 2 o'clock today, and I had to drive an hour to go get it, and then an hour back. So I didn't get started on this project for about really late in the afternoon. Okay, here it comes out. Just checking it, make sure it's not dragging too much. It's kind of hard to deburr inside there. But it is nice and smooth. So now, you gotta try and spin it on there without twisting this up too much. Kind of feel it, it starts getting a little tight. Give this a few little turns. Get lined up here. I'll tighten this down. Okay, so before we get moving along too much further, I said we can check the switch to make sure that the switch didn't get separated off the wires with all that twisting. That's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna check this for continuity. So I'm gonna bring you back over to my little table here, my little makeshift workbench, and we'll knock this out really quick. So as you can see, my workbench is quickly becoming a disaster area. So what we're going to do is strip these wires back a little bit. Now one is going to be hot, and the others are going to be the switch functions. I'm guessing that red is hot, but it doesn't really matter. We're gonna find that out really quick as well, because we should have continuity. Okay. This is gonna be a trick. Let's see, I gotta... Okay. That's concerning. Oh. Okay, let's try this way. Okay, so I believe then black is the hot wire and red and white are the switches. So that's good news. The switch itself works. We don't have any broken wires or loose connections, so we'll get this wired into the rest of it, button it all up, and I hope that we're done with this project. Okay, so let's put that joystick on here, but first, before we forget again, we need the boot. So we're gonna run that through here. through all these wires. Now this boot can go up over top of these nuts and it should kind of stay there. I mean, it might fall down over time. The rubber gets a little bit more relaxed, but there we go. Of course, I gotta turn it. This little notch has got to be in the front just like that. We can dress that up later. We just wanted to make sure the boot was on there. We got our nut on, screw it all the way down, and screw this thing on here. I'm actually going to gather this up so it doesn't get spin all together with as one. Tell you, it's more things that trip a guy up working on a project like this, especially when you start getting into a little bit of a hurry, because it's gonna be dinner time here any minute. I'm losing the light, and I don't dare miss dinner time. So, in fact, I feel my phone vibrating in my pocket right now, which is probably my wife telling me to get inside and eat and stop playing with my tractor, which means I'll be out here in the middle of the night. So if it cuts off and it comes back and it's all done, it's because I actually finished it in the dark and I wasn't able to film it. Or I'll try to film it, but given the lack of light. Okay, finally getting down there to it. Looks like that's gonna be it right there. Go ahead and tighten this down. There we go. Take our wire, we'll just run it down this hole and we'll make it connect up with this wire. Just like that. So now I should have I'm gonna secure this wire to this post right here. But I wanna make sure I have full range of movement where it's at. And it looks like I will. Granted, these are loose. They're loose because the boot's gotta go on. So, okay, let's get the rest of this wired up. Now, I said that the black is hot and red and white are the switch, and that doesn't really make much sense to me. Usually in automotive 12 volt, low volt systems, red is hot and black is ground and white is whatever. So the worst that's gonna happen is we pop a fuse. And it's not like I've never done that before. We'll unstrand these. Now I do know that coming in, the yellow wire is hot here, and the blue and green are switch. So, I guess maybe what we could do, we have to test it. So, we're gonna get this hooked up the way I think it's supposed to go, loosely. I'm not gonna solder them on yet. And actually, should I solder them or should I just make little quick connects? That's a question. Probably better to do little quick connects. The reason I say that is because if I ever need to take this off again, I'd have to cut the wire if I solder them. It's nice to have little connection points every once in a while. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll just use quick connects on it. But we're gonna test it first. So I'm just gonna try and like dry fit these together This will all make sense here in just a second. So we know that yellow from WR long is potentially the hot one, which we believe is black. So we'll go around the black one here like so. Then it doesn't matter which is which on these. We'll figure that out when we fire up the tractor. We have to check it for leaks and stuff as well. So we're getting really close to checking it. We just got to run the hot wire to the battery, which that's going to be really easy. We have to make sure that none of these touch. I found my electrical tape, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap them up with electrical tape, just so we don't accidentally pop a fuse when we didn't need to. Haha, electrical tape. I actually have like a whole bunch of this, and it never fails when I need to actually get a piece of it. I can never find it. Then we're actually going to temporarily mount the third function kit, the valve, back to where the step was supposed to be. That way it's grounded, because that's how that circuit board actually gets its ground, is through the chassis of the tractor. So come back over here and we'll get that done. Okay, so we got our wires here up out of the way. Now we just need to get this mounted back up where it's supposed to go. This can be kind of a pain in the butt because we have to try and move these hoses around a little bit too, and they sometimes don't want to cooperate. So I'm trying to do this with a toolbox in front of it. It's also a major pain in the butt, but it looks like I just got it. Not a big deal. Okay, wipe these ports out pretty well. So there's no pressure on the line. It's the bad part about where I mounted this is it's really hard to get to these connections now. Especially that back one. There we go. And this one is pretty easy. That one is right on the edge there. All right. Now the next thing we need to do is take this red wire, strip it back a little bit. Just kind of score it. Break it like that. Pull it off. Use these wire strippers. We'll put a blade on there. Like so. We'll plug it into the tractor. I just plugged it in. I didn't hear anything pop. The fuse didn't pop, anything like that. So I think it's time to fire up the tractor and see if we got it right. So the clutch is already depressed. We're gonna hit the key, let it go through its glow plug cycle. Fire it up. Looking for leaks. I don't see any leaks. Let's try the switch. It's not working. Okay, not a big deal. We could very well have these wires messed up. So, take our tape off. Let's kind of loosely wrap this tape. I can just pull these wires out a little bit. Just disconnect them like so. There we go. Okay, so we know that yellow is hot. And the rest of them are switches. We don't know which one's hot on here, but I think it was black, but that could be completely wrong. So, let's try white. I want these to touch. It is a live system now. It's not keyed to the ignition switch. It's directly to the battery. So, I'm in frame here. Okay. Just verified that our fuse is correct. Let's we're not going to use the new joystick just yet. I want to make sure that our repair actually works. So go ahead and start it back up again. I'm getting nothing. Nothing. What's going on here?
Moments later.
Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but I don't have any power here. And let me check it with my meter. Maybe my little light's not good enough. I just checked the fuse. The fuse is good. I've got nothing here. Are you kidding me right now?
The next day.
So it's the next day. And it's not a very good day to be filming. It's really windy out here, so hopefully this doesn't interfere too much. So as you can see, I've taken out this console on this side, and all the glass down here I need to clean out. As you can see, there's glass like everywhere in here. So, but one thing I found, let me see if I can get a good picture of it right there. It's gonna focus on my finger. Right there, it looks like that's a plug that goes underneath the tractor. So I'm guessing that's the plug that it was referred to. I would have to remove all this to even get to it. But I was thinking about actually relocating this guy, moving it up here somewhere where it's a little bit easier to get to. You know, when I'm engaging the PTO, I like to be looking back at the implement. And I can't look back and engage this PTO right where it's at the same time. So I'm considering doing that right now. But first, I got to get this all cleaned up. I mean, all this glass in here, it's kind of sucking the workaround, and it's everywhere. So I'm gonna get this all cleaned out, get everything all wiped down, and go from there. As you can see, this is the cable. It's kind of stuffed in there. And I took this all off originally because I was having a hard time with this grommet, putting it back in. As you can see, doesn't have the other bolt in it yet, because that plastic, the liner was in the way. So I'll bring it back when I get it all cleaned out and maybe even put back together again. So it wasn't too difficult, just lots of little screws, little plastic, these little guys, these little plastic screws. So, all right. So after a very long day of taking all the trim out, I basically gutted the entire interior of this tractor. I took all the lower cowlings off the front here. I took all this side off and all of that side off to get all the glass out, and cleaned everything, wiped it all down, put it all back in. And I gotta say, this tractor has not been this clean since I bought it. And I clean it every once in a while. I vacuum it out and wipe things down, but this was like a deep clean, which it really needed. So it just kind of sucks I don't have a back window now. I keep it under a tarp, but the tarp doesn't, stop everything, and I don't really run the tarp when I'm out operating the tractor. And it dawned on me as I was putting this all back, the reason why I put the grapple on about a week ago was to go burn a large slash pile. I got to get that slash pile burned. So I ran into the issue. Here it sits. Now I got a nice clean interior. I'm gonna fill this cab full of smoke and it's gonna stink and I'm gonna have to clean it again. So it is what it is, but it's just one of those things, it's like you spend a lot of time, cleaning something out and kind of detailing it a little bit, and it just gets dirty within a few minutes. So, but it's good. It's good that I did it. I really love this joystick. Sits back a little further. The other one was right about here, and I like the buttons the way they are. It really, this one is open, this one's closed. I don't know if the camera picked it up or not, but right towards the end of last night when I was working on all this, I ran into an issue trying to figure out which button did what, how the wires were coded. Hey guys, so unfortunately when I got into the editing, I realized that the camera that I was talking to wasn't actually recording for whatever reason. It's that DSLR and it's not the greatest. So it's a couple days later now, I just realized that mistake, and I decided instead of doing all that B-roll, which I don't have very much of, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it off right there and then redo that last section. So the issue that I had with the hot wire, I wasn't suddenly getting power to the third function kit. And what had happened was the connection to the battery itself came loose. So I repaired that really quick and easy. I figured out which switch is right. The black one is the hot one. I got it all wired up now, so I'll show you. So right now I'm out here burning. There's the big old slash pile. That's all from the playground project. Mostly, we got a tree up there. I don't know how well that's gonna see where to go. There it is, right up there. It's broken off, so I gotta drop that tree into this pile yet. So I just got it lit. It's going really well. So here's the grapple. That's this button right here, and then this button right here opens it. So, yay. But anyway, I just wanted to, kind of end this video, on a high note. The tractor's back up and running. Still don't have any glass. There's no glass. You can see the stuff for the wiper hanging down. So, which makes it kind of fun out here. It is a nice warm day, so I'm not too worried about being cold or anything, but getting the smoke in here. The tractor's kind of dirty now. Gonna smell like smoke for several weeks, but you got to get work done. So anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, I know it's kind of a shoddy video, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments below, and I will do my very best to answer them. So in the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and we'll catch you on the next one.